Hey guys, welcome back to the channel here, New York Sports Central. And today we're going to be talking about the Rangers game against the Vancouver Canucks. Yesterday, it was a matinee game at 1 o'clock on Sunday, which I attended actually. It was a very fun day, but it was a rainy day in Manhattan, so it was nice to get into the Garden to see a hockey game, and it was early, and it was nice to go on a Sunday when everybody's off and such. So then I had a nice time from that aspect, but the game was kind of frustrating. The Rangers got up to a slow start. They basically did not show up for the whole entire first period, and they gave up 3 goals to the Canucks, and they were down 3-0, and they spent the whole game fighting back, and they almost came close, and they almost tied it up. They ended up falling short and losing 3-2 for their 4th straight loss now. And it's not looking good as they're in a slump of late here. Just like how Tony DeAngelo got benched a lot. In the other game, the last game against the Capitals, it was Brady Shea's turn to be the in the doghouse, so to speak, and he was benched also. So getting into it, the Rangers were basically just kind of playing sloppy in their own end, taking penalties, not getting puck possession. Vancouver held on to the puck for the whole entire period. And pretty much, and Vancouver was also playing a second of a back-to-back, and they started Jacob Markstrom in that, because the Rangers always seem to have trouble with. And the Canucks got up very early, and Libor Hayek hooking penalty in the first 5 minutes, and Elias Pettersson was able to send a pass to Horvat in the slot, and he buried it, and that was 1-0. And then a fanned defensive zone breakout by Brendan Smith, and Mark Stahl couldn't handle it, and it made Brock Pesser come in on a 2-on-1, and he sniped it, but Lundqvist got some of it, but it trickled into the net, and then that was 2-0, but Hank could have probably saved that. And then Tyler Myers got a penalty, but however, the Rangers didn't do anything on the power play and let the Canucks score a goal. And Jay Beagle, the former Washington Capital 4th line center PK specialist, scored his first goal of the year. And it was down 3-0, and that was not good. But the second period, the Canucks still controlled, but towards the end of it, the Rangers started to get going. And Jesper Fast was able to get the puck in the zone, and the pass was sent out to Jacob Trouba from Ryan Strome. And Trouba shot it, and Fox was able to get a piece of it and went in. At that point, it was 3-1 to end off the second period. And the Canucks were severely outchancing the Rangers all game through 2 periods of play, having 37 shots for the Canucks and only 23 for the Rangers. But the third period was all New York, where the Rangers pretty much dominated all period. But they looked more engaged, and they were playing a Canuck team that was probably getting kind of tired, so I don't really look into it that much, but they played very good. It was a turnaround. It was like a tale of 2 games almost, essentially. And they were able to score their second of the game with Fost that was out on a shift. He had a long shift, so much so that Mika and Panarin got onto the ice for the first line, but he was still out there. And Foss got the puck to a wide open Panarin, and he was able to snipe one, and he got his 4th goal of the year. So Panarin is coming to New York and is playing well. The Rangers pressed, and there were a lot of good shifts, and there were instances in the end where Buchnevich got tripped. He prevented an empty net goal, and then he got tripped up also during that same time that it seemed like it was definitely a penalty, but it wasn't called. And I saw it in game, and I saw it on the jumbotron, like zoomed in. It looked like it was a penalty. I don't know what happened. Maybe the ref saw it, he toe picked or something, but it was bad. But Lundqvist did have a pretty good game, stopping 40 or 43 shots for a 930 save percentage. But he was getting shots all night, and his real break came in the third period when the Rangers started playing good. Another thing of note in this game is that Pavel Buchnevich saw shifts on the fourth line in this game. He seemed to have been getting relegated, and Brendan Lemieux was up to the second line. I don't entirely agree with this. I don't understand why Pavel Buchnevich is constantly being thrown in the doghouse. It happened a lot with Alain Vigneault, and early on with his time with David Quinn. Like, he needs to be around skilled players, and like, if you have Pavel Buchnevich on your fourth line, you're not gonna win. He's a skilled player. I don't understand why he's playing there. And guys like Brendan Smith are getting put up in the lineup. At one point, Brendan Smith was playing on the goddamn second line, for Christ's sake. And he's a freaking defenseman that is on a shitty contract, and nobody wants him, and the Rangers are trying to turn him into a forward to give him of some value to offload him somewhere, but they just can't do it because they have too many young defensemen that have passed him up on the depth chart, and they just don't want to throw him in the AHL, taking up a young forward spot. So they're kind of, it's in like a rock and a hard place with this guy. And Smith seems to, David Quinn seems to like how he's playing. He's a tough guy and he forechecks, but he's slow as shit, and he hasn't played forward in his whole NHL career, and he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. So I don't understand that coaching philosophy at all. And him kind of like shitting on Capo Caco in the press, like it's annoying. I noticed that Capo Caco does seem tired at times and skates slower, but that's just all a conditioning thing. It's his first time in the NHL, and he'll get up to speed. He'll get it going. He's too much of a skilled player I see on the ice, and he's gonna do really good. So overall, that was another thing. And Chris Kreider had a lot of chances in this game. He seems to be starting up this year snake bitten, like really bad, and he had two kind of a partial break and pretty much like two partial breakaways. One he was contested on, the other he had a clear cut, and he couldn't score. It's always been with Kreider that his hands are not really there. He's just more like a north-south player, and when he starts to get on the perimeter is when he sucks. Like, he needs to be a guy that is a power forward, goes north-south, hits hard, forechecks, and skates hard north and south. No turning, no inside out. Because he can beat defensemen. He can beat any defenseman one-on-one with his speed and power. So he needs to be staying there. And maybe if Kreider has kind of a lackluster season, doesn't get a lot of points, the Rangers can lock him up to a favorable contract if he doesn't have a lot of points. Like, that's another thing. Like, they can lock him up if he doesn't have a good year to a smaller contract. And another thing is, I'm hating how much praise this team is putting in Howden, Brett Howden. He should be a player that is playing in the minor leagues, or if he's in the NHL, he should be a bottom six forward, not a second line center. That goes to show how bad the Rangers are with centers right now, and they're still a rebuilding team. But I think Filipino that spot should be his spot to lose, essentially. And he's lighting up the AHL right now. He has 7 points in 6 games, so we expect a call up from him soon. And the Rangers' next game is Tuesday night, and it's another home game. They'll be against the Arizona Coyotes, and that's a hot team. Like, the Coyotes are a hot team, and that's going to be another tough game going into it. So that's another thing that the Rangers, they got to play up. It's not like the Coyotes of old. Like, this is a real team that has won a lot of games, and they're on a hot streak. So the Rangers have to get it going, put things together, hopefully call up Filipino and put him on the second line center spot. and get things going, or else this is going to be another year for the draft lottery and everything. I know it's too early to get into that, but I thought this team was going to be more competitive and score more goals. That they're just in a slump right now where they can't score more than 2 goals a game, and they just need more offense from the other lines, and that's pretty much it. So I had a fun time going to the game today, but they lost again, 4 in a row. They play the Arizona Coyotes tomorrow night at home at the Garden at 7, so we're all looking forward to that. Hopefully a turnaround and a Filipino call-up. I don't know though, but thanks for tuning in, like, comment, and subscribe, and see you later.